right, today we're sitting down with a talented singer-songwriter who pours his real life and soul and passion into his music. He's collaborated with some incredible artists, but more than that, he's got a story and a sound that comes straight from the heart. We're about to talk creativity, struggles, breakthroughs, and everything in between with none other than Joe Porê. What's up, bro?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Welcome to the PDP After Dark. It's my new podcast. Just want to welcome you here, bro.
Thank you, bro.
You said it's been a minute since you've done a podcast.
Man, it's been years. It's been years for all of this, honestly. I mean, I've been doing music all in between the years, but just jumping back off into me being on the front, in the front scene and in the front, is something that's new again,
Okay. So how's it feeling?
I mean, it feels great, man. I mean, this is what I was born to do. This is who I was born to be.
Okay, so let's start off with that. Who you were born to be. Tell me a little bit about Joe Porê, little Joe Porê.
Man, ever since I can remember, I know a lot of artists say that, but honestly, I mean, between or out of all of the artists that I know and love, I guess some of the newer artists, Tank and different people like that, singing for them probably was like a later idea. It may have came along in high school, from what Tank was telling me. He was in high school and he's like, singing is what get the girls and stuff like that. For me, it was never that.
Okay.
Even when I was in high school and I was really popular in high school and, I had little crushes and, girls, seeking after me and stuff like that. But my mind was always on the piano. My mind was always, in that creative space. And so while I was doing that creative thing, that's when the girls would come in and sit next to me on a piano bench.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool. I just kept on doing what I was doing, So for me, it started from a very, very young age and I just loved it. It was like air. That's what it is for me still to this day. It's like, I can't even imagine myself not singing, not doing music. If there was no money to be made, no stage to perform on, I would do it.
Okay, so now, I was best friends with your brother. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Daniel Porê.
Yeah.
Danny.
Yes, sir.
And he was an artist as well. He used to draw. I'm talking about vividly draw, not
like the modern day Norman Rockwell or like Picasso or like one of them. Yeah,
exactly. So I guess what I was going to ask you was, did you come from a musical family?
Absolutely. Okay. On both sides. More so on my father's side. My father's side is known even on the street that us from.
Shout out to Seminar.
Seminar, yes, sir.
Shout out to Seminar.
They are renowned, and even coming up, different people in the neighborhood, elders would tell me and my brothers about the musical talents and the gifts in my people. That my uncles, my dad.
Yeah.
And so it's intrinsic. It's all throughout my family.
So you said you do come from a musical family.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides.
Yes, sir.
So tell me this, like, who was that first artist that you really said that really inspired you?
I would have to say, like, in a real way where I really start like actually vocalizing and trying to sing, it would be Stevie Wonder.
Stevie.
Yep.
Okay. And why?
Well, that was what I was hearing. You know what I'm saying? My mother was playing Stevie Wonder, in particular songs in the key of life. Shout out to my mom, Maxine Farr Smith. She definitely cultivated me musically. I mean, even as a person, and she still does. But definitely in music. For a long time, I was shy and I wouldn't sing around nobody.
Wow.
So I just was shy. I was literally, just very nervous to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so we were riding, and one day she had a old LTD. I think it was like a station wagon, and it might have been a Camry. It might have been a Toyota station wagon. I'm not sure. She'll probably correct me. But we were riding one day, and she had on Stevie Wonder, a song called "Each Beat of My Heart," and the song comes, "Son of T." And I had heard this song so many times while we was riding. I loved it now. And so
Okay.
I forgot that she was even in the car. So I started singing aloud. You know what I'm saying? I started singing out loud, and
Yeah.
I saw her eyes in the rearview mirror, and she lit up like,
She
baby,
knew.
you can sing. And I was like, oh, I started blushing and like,
Yeah.
and she said, keep going. Let me, And so I just started, you were my first breath, my first smile, and my morning cup of tea. Yours was a love that. And I just started singing right with Stevie, and she was like teary eyed. She couldn't even believe it because she didn't even know the gift was inside me.
How old were you?
At that time, I think I had to be like maybe 5.
Wow.
5 or 4, somewhere in that area.
So you had did this by yourself?
Yeah.
Obviously, that wasn't the first time you did it.
No.
Okay, but it was the first time you let somebody hear it.
Yeah. I mean, I had been singing for years, all the way from like pretty much a baby. But it was something I did. Like I was a real sensitive, shy like type of kid. And so when I got hurt by things, I would go in the, closet or something by myself.
Yeah.
And I would just be in there singing to myself. I might, whatever I'm feeling, I would be saying, don't cry, Joey Lynn. My name is Joe Lynn. So, I would sing that.
That's your middle name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would sing that, to myself in the closet, or, sometimes I might go up under the bed, or, just was in my feelings, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's where music comes from for me. You know what I'm saying? It came from a real elementary place like, Sesame Street and all the songs that, was on the shows that was on TV, that my uncles and different people that was watching me was, so when I was hearing the MASH.
Yeah, yeah.
All of that got
MASH
inside
never
me.
sounded like that to me.
Yeah. No, it was like turn the channel.
Right? Yeah, you turned it to R&B.
Right,
okay,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like turn the channel. I hated MASH as a kid because it was just so boring. But melodically, it attracted me.
The melody,
the Hill Street Blues song.
Yeah.
My favorite one was not Family Ties, but Growing Pains. Was it Growing Pains? Show me that smile again. Don't waste another minute on your trying problems. We know we're near the end.
Yeah, what was that?
The best is waiting to begin. As long as we got each other. That when I heard all of those songs, man, as a little bitty kid,
yeah, because I just heard the melody of "Believe It or Not."
Yeah, that was my joint too.
Yeah.
All of them. And if we had a piano right here, I would play all of them.
So
because
where did you learn to do that?
Piano?
Yeah.
So it's just something that's just innate to me, like singing, man.
People say that, and I'm trying to understand. So did you know where to put your fingers? Because remember, what's the keys? Keys?
So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I'm saying where you place your fingers on it.
I mean, that depends on the song or whatever, but you know what I mean?
It's like a universal finger placement on the keys.
So standard for most people would be like C.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like C major or, something like that.
Okay.
So I started out on C major. When I first started, my mom first got my first keyboard.
Yeah.
Actually, before she even got my first keyboard, I was at cousins' house and stuff like that, and different people that we would be visiting. My mom, friend, and she had a son there, and he had a keyboard, and he brought it out. And all the other kids would be playing with toys and all this different stuff, and I'd be, so as he brought that keyboard out, I'd be in there. All the other kids would be gone. I'd be in there like, you know what I'm saying, messing with it, trying to figure that out. But honestly,
so basically, you weren't taught.
Well, no, not initially.
Okay.
So I learned by ear initially, just playing the songs that I heard and that I knew.
Yeah.
And then, in high school, shout out to Miss Papiance, Russian pianist, who was actually a piano accompanist in my high school.
What high school?
Kettering High School.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out KE, all my people.
Shout out KE.
Yeah, that was, I actually lived in LA for a minute, so I went to high school out there as well.
Okay.
But in Detroit.
What school did you go to in LA?
A school called La Mirada High School.
Okay.
Yep.
How did that happen?
Well, my mother and father divorced.
Okay.
My biological father, and he moved to LA. And like a lot of kids, man, I got to being, a teenager,
yeah,
so to speak. And I felt like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to go meet my pops and learn my pops and see what he's about and all that. And you know,
And you went down to LA?
yeah, I went out there and you know, it was a beautiful experience, man. Me and all my brothers went, you know, we were all out there at one time, and then we all, you know, separately started dispersing. Like Phil came back, Danny came back, I think first, because some different little situations was happening or whatever, in the home and everything. But yeah, so it was, I needed that though, because you know where we from.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
How many siblings?
4.
It's 4 boys.
5 boys.
5 boys.
Yeah, so I got 4 brothers, so I'm the 5th of 5. Yeah,
So no girls.
No girls.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So that should have been great for Pops. He got 5 boys.
Oh yeah, he loves it even to this day.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I know that's bragging rights.
Oh yeah, man. He bigs us up to everybody.
Yeah. So everybody that I know, all the brothers had some skill.
Yeah.
And you kind of skilled. You got a double because you do carpentry and yeah. So I don't even know if you want to talk about that.
Sure. I mean, that's up for, you know, discussion for as well. Because it's, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, I believe everybody on this earth, man, whether you know it or not, all of us have a cataclysm, or in other words, multi gifts and talents.
Yeah.
You know, some people think, oh, all I'm good is jokes, man. All I'm good at with is you know, cutting hair.
Yeah.
No, that's what you have you know, that's what you've experienced so far.
Yeah.
You know, if you keep living, you'll find out, man, you know, I'm kind of, you know, it starts out at home, man. I cook pretty good at home, and you might be a good chef. You know what I mean? God didn't put, our creator didn't put no one, you know, just one gift in no person.
Yeah, he didn't limit us.
with that. No, man. We are multi-talented, multi-gifted.
So what was the very first song that you ever wrote?
Oh man. I can't even remember it right now. I would love for somebody from my past, because I sang all the time, and I sang as much as I talked, more than I talked back then. But a lot of times when I'm around like older friends and stuff like that, they'll bring up them older songs, and I'd be like, "Wow, man!"
And these were original
I forgot about
songs.
that. Yeah. Me and my brother Phil, we started out together, and you know, as far as the singing, and you know, you might remember when Mike Vide's stepdad was managing us.
I didn't know that.
You know, as a group. Yeah. Shout out to Mike Barton.
Mike was a manager. Okay.
Yeah, Mike was our manager, man. And but me and Phil started out together, and we was writing songs. We was even writing raps. I used to rap at one point in time, you know, because
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, man. I was big into that. You know, my mom didn't know, because I wouldn't say this stuff around her.
So what was your rap name?
I didn't have a rap name. It was just me. I've always been Joe Porê.
You just Joe Porê, but you rap.
Yeah. So like even on social media, one of my good friends, Demetrius Neighbors, he's a pianist and accompanist and producer, music producer and everything, but in Detroit. But Demetrius, he was joking around with me when we were in a rehearsal for a show. I think that we did for Layla Hathaway at the Aretha in Detroit, and he said, "Man, you know, I think it's kind of arrogant that your Instagram handle is the only Joe Porê." I said, "Nah, it's not." I said, "Do you know another Joe Porê?"
Is there another Joe Porê?
I've searched and I haven't found
It's no
one.
other Joe Porês.
I've never found another.
So
one.
Joe is pretty common.
Joe is very common.
Yeah. So Porê, are they?
There's very few in the whole United States. In each state in the United States, there's probably maybe 100.
And where does Porê derive from?
It originates from Spain and France.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all got Spanish,
French. My father's grandfather was from France.
Okay. And then what about your mother's side? Where are they from?
They're German. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. But well, among a lot of other things, Native American as well. But yeah, both her mother's father was German. Her father's father was German, you know.
Okay. So your very first song, you really can't say exactly what the name of it is?
No. I think the earliest song I could remember that I wrote, man, it's real vague in my mind, but it was something like, Is this a dream? And I used to do like a lot of runs. I was immature. I just used to, you know,
just run for nothing.
yeah, it's for no reason, just because I could. But I started out the song. Is it a dream? Am I just? Is it just a fantasy? I see something like that.
Okay.
And where the song came from, this is embarrassing, man. Where the song came from actually was from a girl that I had met, a white girl that I met in Massachusetts while we were there staying at a hotel. We went down to Massachusetts with my stepfather's family.
Okay.
And while we were staying at the hotel, you know, you're a kid and your parents tell you go play somewhere. And we went down to the pool and I met this girl.
Okay.
She was down there with a bunch of other, you know, girls. And we started talking. We exchanged numbers and we was like, you know, had a little puppy love situation going on even after I came back to Michigan for a minute. So I wrote that song. I think I might have been like 9 or 10 or something like that.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I was very young.
So when you were writing these songs, did you have music to them or it was just the vocals?
When I wrote back then, I was just literally off the cuff. Like, you know, I didn't have a outlet. I didn't have a keyboard or piano or any instrument at that time.
Now, you know, that's one of the things, because I remember I used to rap and I never had access to beats. To tracks.
So you just
you either did that or you just kept the same rap in your head, but it never went anywhere. So that's another thing, like depending on how you grow up and you have access to certain things, that's how fate kind of plays out. Because
or for me, I was fortunate to have siblings who did it also. But are you an only child?
Well, on my mother's side, but and then but I never lived with my siblings. My two sisters. I never lived
so
with
in your instance, you probably was like not as inspired because you didn't have somebody else that was doing it with you. That was doing it too. So
So did y'all have a group as brothers?
Yeah. So that was the group that
the Porê 5?
It was Porê. It was called. Actually, Dwight was part of the group.
Yeah, I remember Porê.
Yeah, my boy Dwight was a part of the group, and we had started making a lot of noise in the city. And honestly, that was my first performances, man. I'm gonna tell that story later, but those were some of my first performances. You know, we was in clubs just about every night of the week. My man Jay Devonaire was managing us.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Devonaire, you know, wherever he is.
Yeah, he was managing us for a lot of that. Mike got us into a few situations too. You know, but they were more like talent shows and, you know, kind of more wholesome stuff. But Jay was in there, man. We didn't know, but he was raking in, man. He had us out there. You know, we was singing in Ray O'Shea's and some everywhere. I mean, seeing things we probably shouldn't have seen. You know, I was probably like 13, 14 at that time.
So you remember Jay? What was the name of his label? Unseen
Entertainment.
So you know they were out of my building.
I didn't know that.
You remember on Warren? Yeah.
Because we used to work out of the studio up there.
Yeah. So that was they were renting that building from me. Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
I knew you, but didn't even know that was your establishment.
Yeah. And that was funny because when they finally did leave, the studio was still set up in there. Yeah. So that's where y'all used to be.
Yeah. Okay. We used to be in there heavy, man. And you know, I was just even more so than my brothers. I was really, really hungry. You know what I'm saying? For it, not to make it or not to get a deal. I was just hungry for music, man. I just loved doing music all the time, literally more than I love to eat, more than I loved anything.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's an obsession.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At that point,
man.
It's an obsession. And it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Until
for people that don't understand.
Until you make it. And then it's okay to be obsessed.
Because, and that happened too. Yeah. So, you know, all my life, people have been seeing this, you know, from elementary school. I've been that same guy. I never at no point in time gave it up. Like, you know, you still doing music, man? Nah, I ain't. Anytime anybody asked me that, I say, yes, sir. Best way I can put it. I mean, we were young and, you know, all talented, you know, all hungry, you know what I'm saying? Little kids from the east side, you know what I'm saying? You know, we had a rough edge. So, you know, we were resilient, man. So I actually, one point in time, we did a show. I forget where we were performing at, but it was somewhere on the east side. And I think it might have been St. Pekka. It might have been St. Pekka down on Van Dyke.
Yeah, Pecker was.
It was like a cabaret spot or something.
Yeah.
Actually, what we performed was a cabaret. And excuse me. So I was on edge already. You know, 'cause I'm young, and I'm also from the hood. So in this, it was all the hood niggas was in here, or all the hood cats was in here. And so, you know, we came there to sing. That's all we was doing. And we wasn't drinking. Obviously, we weren't even old enough to drink. Right. We was just there with Jay.
Yeah.
You know. So we in there performing, and about 3 guys followed us out when we left. So this particular performance, we were actually performing with 2 rap artists that was also signed to Jay at the time.
Okay.
Yayo and another guy named Jay McKinney. Shout out to my guys Yayo and Jay McKinney. Joe McKinney. 2 super talented dudes, man. Some of the dopest cats out of Detroit, period. They just, you know, it's a lot of cats like that. They were of that quality, but never really blue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, like Hoffa.
Slim.
Yeah. Hoffa is a prime example of that, man. But Hoffa's getting his flowers, and Hoffa's doing, like, you know, he's done actually some real amazing things, but just never had that mainstream notoriety. Yeah. I think he's on the level of Jay-Z and all these other cats, but, you know, for whatever reason. But anyway, we did the performance, and these 3 guys followed us out. They was really showing us love. They was like, yeah, man, y'all niggas killed it, man. Y'all do. He's like, appreciate you, bro. You know, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We dapping them and everything. And so we had Jay bring us a limo. That's one thing I love. He always sent us out to, you know, he ain't drive us in his car. We ain't get out of no, you know what I'm saying, a Taurus or something like that. He would rent a limo for us, you know, or you know what I'm saying? He did things on the upper echelon. You know, so love him for that. And but anyway, these guys followed us outside, and they, you know, at first it was cool. It was like, appreciate y'all, man. That's love, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah. But they kept following us all the way to the limo. And so we got to the limo, we started getting in, they got in with us. And so I was kind of looking like, you know what I'm saying, as a younger guy, I think I was like, well, other than my brother, my younger brother was the youngest, but I was second to the youngest who was there. So I'm like 13. I'm looking like, is this cool with them getting in the car with us? You know what I'm saying? They got drinks in hand, everything. They actually already pretty sauced up, pretty lit.
Right.
You know, they kind of like drunk uncle at the end of the party type, you know what I'm saying? They on that vibe, and they got in, they like, hey, man, it's dope. And so the rappers that was with us, though, they was a little older, a little bit more, you know, coarse. And so they was like, yeah, my man, y'all gonna have to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have to get out the limo. Y'all can't be in the limo. And so they wasn't moving. They was like, nigga, who y'all think y'all, you know, y'all ain't nobody, nigga. Mm-hmm. And so at that point, things got a little tense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So my man Yayo was a real live wire type dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, rapping was saving his life. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was the type of cat. I mean, even in that length of time, there were some things that we had to help him through, you know what I'm saying? Or Jay even had to help him through legally and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to get off into that, but he was one of those, you know, he's one of them type of characters. Yeah, he was a street dude. Yeah. He was a rapper, a real rapper. So we were in the limo to do, you know, rapper Yayo, who we performed with that night, asked the gentleman that was, you know, invited themselves to the limo to step out. They wasn't really having that. They felt like, you know, they wanted to roll wherever we was going next.
Right.
And so he stepped out of the vehicle, came around and told him, you know, gave him an ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can either get out of here, or it's about to get, you know what I'm saying, real. It's about to get real.
How many guys was it?
It was just like 2 or 3 guys.
Okay.
You know, and but we definitely outnumbered them. But you know, when they get real like that, it don't really matter. Yayo got out of the limo. He walked around to the you know, the side that the guys were sitting on, and basically gave them an ultimatum. Y'all can exit, or, you know what I'm saying, I can get you up out of here. So at that point, you know, these are East Side guys too. You know, we kind of, and why I say East Side guys, for people who not from Detroit, who are not from the East Side or don't know much about the East Side. there's a little bit of a difference between East Side guys and West Side guys. All Detroiters know this, you know.
Yeah.
West Side guys, they will, you know, I think they're a little bit more diplomatic, you know what I'm saying, from my experience with them. And Detroit, East Side cats are just like, they're almost like barbarians. They're almost like, you know,
Yeah.
Just they like a pit bull versus I don't know, like a German Shepherd. Both can be very fierce. Yeah, both will get down. They definitely not to be messed with. But that pit bull, they known to take you out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's an East Side dude. And so he, you know, he gave them ultimatum, and they was basically not liking them ultimatums. They wasn't liking their options. So they got out and basically was like, oh, that's cool. You know, they started talking about they was gonna go to the trunk and all this type of stuff. And I'm sitting there as a 13-year-old, like, bro, this can't happen right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to do the music. I'm not, I'm not no scary dude. You know what I'm saying? We had static, and we dealt with, what we dealt with, and especially being cats in the hood that they consider they call like the barges and stuff like that. We had a lot of that, we had a lot of that energy at one point in time. We had to handle that.
Yeah.
And, get our respect. But
prove
but I wasn't at that point. I was like, no, I'm not trying to be in a shootout right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have no weapon on me.
Probably dressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To the nines.
Yeah. We was dressed for
this was a show.
Perform. Yeah.
A limo picked you up.
Yeah. So I mean, it got real. They was, insults and threats back and forth. And, he told him to go, hey, we'd be here, nigga, go grab your whatever. And I'm like, nah, don't go grab you. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Because, you know what I'm saying? Let's just leave. You know what I'm saying? But that was just one situation. Matter of fact, it was another one. I forget the name of the spot. It was like right near KE on the left side of Van Dyke. It had some real tall stairs. They was red. And you might have been there this night. I don't know.
Okay.
But what happened, Vibe was with Sharkita at that time. A dude approached Sharkita. He was trying to, rap to her. She was nice looking, young lady or whatever. And she was, Sharkita was silly, actually. She told him, like, she hurt his feelings. Yeah. It was really what I was right there. I was within ear's distance. We had just finished performing. A bunch of people was walking up to us, dapping us, telling us we killed it, whatever. And I heard this guy come up to her, and it was kind of like she was like, nigga, if you don't get out my face type thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that. I think he either, I want to say he bust a bottle on her or something. It got real serious real fast.
Okay.
And so Vod and a few other people in there got, they did what needed to be done in that situation. And everybody just kind of started, dispersing like real fast. It was kind of like, madness. People was running. And the stairs, like I said, it was a lot of stairs, so they were steep. And I remember, because I think my mom might have came to that performance. But yeah, it was, it got stupid real fast. Once we got outside, somebody started shooting. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know what I'm saying? That was a regular occurrence, on the east side of Detroit, though.
Yeah. Now, were you in a limo this time too?
No. We that day, actually, at that point in time, I think we was managed by Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike Barton was managing us at that time, and it was a nice, like, everybody was dressed nice, Gucci loafers and. You know what I'm saying? Freaky shirts.
Yeah, it was one of the
slacks. Yeah, it was,
cabaret style.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man, until that happened,
Yeah, that was it was just a bad backdrop for this, that was 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, that was like, that wasn't early 2000s. That was like 94.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like 94, 90, 95, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay. So that was early.
That was right before I moved to Cali.
Okay, so that was Tupac was still, it was that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who are your biggest influences inside of music and outside of music?
Man, all of my biggest influences are definitely inside of music, really. Yeah.
Okay.
you know, even my dad was a former member or former band member of the Spinners, you know, dun, 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 rubber band man. And they did, it's a shame.
Okay.
The way you mess
He was down with them doing the
Yeah,
step.
he was a percussionist for them.
Okay.
Back in the day. And so he's one of my, you know, first, I think, influences musically, artistically. And then yeah, shout out to my dad, Dan Porê Sr. Yeah, and then outside of him, you know, Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, a lot of other artists too that ain't, you know, that don't have our skin color, like Phil Collins, like Sting and the Police, like Queen, like the Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, James Taylor. I mean, you know, by my family being mixed, we listen to a lot of other stuff. You know,
no,
what I'm saying?
It's some dope stuff, man.
Oh man,
like
a lot of the rap songs that we got now came from them songs.
Yep,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Especially a lot of stuff that Diddy did. You know, it was old, you know, old 80s, you know, white rock band music. You know?
So I want to ask you a little bit about, before I get too far.
Okay.
You said something about working with Unseen and Jay Debonair. Who 7 Mile?
Who is 7?
When was that era?
So
7 Mile was real popular in Detroit.
7 Mile was popular not just in Detroit. They were had become like a world renowned, still are.
Yeah.
You know, they got fans still, because I wasn't an original member.
Okay.
I got brought into 7 Mile back in '98.
Okay.
Yeah, so a friend of mine who you probably know, Luther Jackson, Squeak.
Yeah.
So Squeak was original member of 7 Mile.
Yeah, yep.
So me and Squeak go all the way back to jumping on mattresses in the alley.
And I never knew he could sing.
Oh yeah, a lot of people didn't. He also, back in the hood, he used to jit.
Okay, yeah.
So people knew him for that real big, you know, especially at KE.
Yeah.
And you know, he was singing all along though. Squeak been singing forever, but I guess he felt more comfortable dancing. He was more accepted, I guess, for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Squeak, so this is how that happened. Back in 96, 97, they got signed to Mariah Carey's former label Crave under Sony Columbia Epic umbrella. You know, at that time, Mariah Carey was married to Tommy Mottola, CEO of Sony. So they did a showcase where Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey was the judges, and another guy named Ron Grant and a couple other people. They're kind of renowned people, but they won this contest. They were selected by Boyz II Men themselves and Mariah Carey, and they got signed to Mariah Carey's label. So they, you know, started touring and started doing, you know, going all over the world, Japan and everywhere else. And, you know, had a name, was big. Actually, when I got in the group, they were doing, well, let me back up. So 96, 97, they were doing their thing with you know, at 7 Mile. There was 4 original members of 7 Mile: Glennis Martin, Luther Jackson, Dion Lucas, Shantez Robertson. Shout out all my brothers. But Glennis, who was like considered one of the lead singers, who people probably remember from Do Your Thing and Just a Memory, was the 2 hits they had out at the time. You know, now it's just a memory. Can't you see? Ain't nothing going on with you and me. And then there was the other song was Do Your Thing. Girl, I know everything. You remember that one?
Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
But even though it hurts me, I gotta let you do your thing. So Glennis was the main, you know, one of the main voices of that. And other than him was Dion.
Okay.
So Dion started out the first verse on that song, but when I got with them, they had that video was on BET, and they was running it like regular Black Planet, and you know, all them old you know, Planet Groove and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I said Black Planet. Wow.
I was about to go back
Planet Groove.
Planet Groove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but so I actually was missing all of that because in Cali, they at that time weren't really well known as a group. And so I was in like this bubble there. And, you know, I'm out there still doing music, still, you know, my father was introducing me to cats that, you know, was tied into the scene like old school cats, you know, and trying his best to get me and my brothers broke into the industry the best way he knew at that time. So he was taking us to, you know, LA and, you know, some cats that had, you know, pretty nice studios and stuff like that, but they weren't really like connected in the mainstream at that time anymore. They were, you know, they were old cats that probably were respected and stuff like that. But you know how it is.
Yeah.
If you're not like right now, if you're not right now, you got certain players that are active right now. So what happened with us out there with my, you know, in California with my dad. My mom decided to bring us back to Detroit, and we came back to Detroit. So literally the first day I was back in Detroit, I was jet lagged. So I was like, I told all my brothers, I was like, hey, don't wake me up for nothing. I don't like, leave me alone. Don't knock on my door for nothing. I'm trying to sleep. So my baby brother, David, he came, knocked on my door. I'm like, what? He's like, somebody on the phone for you. Tell him to call me back. He said it's important. Tell him I call him back. I said, who is it? He said his name. What's your name? He said his name, Squeak. I said, Squeak. How Squeak even get this number? Hold on. I got up, opened the door up. Hello? Squeak got this real defiant voice. He, what up, dog? You yeah. What up? You know, he's almost like, you know, he got this high pitched, you know, real energetic voice. And I'm like, what up, bro? What's good, man? You know, he like, what you into? I'm like, shoot, man, I just literally just moved back here from Cali. He was like, what, you sign anybody right now? I said, nah, I'm you know, I'm just a solo artist. I'm, you know, doing music and everything like that. He was like, all right, listen, we got a situation right now where we need another member for our group. Like I said, I have no clue of the group, period.
Right.
I know Squeak from school. I know he could sing. We used to go on his grandmother's porch on macarons and, you know what I'm saying, sit on the front porch and play with his keyboard and sing like that. So, you know, I'm just like, okay. He was like, he said, would you be willing to audition for our managers? And I said, yeah, I mean, you know, why not? You know what I'm saying? I ain't really see no big deal of it or nothing like that. I didn't even know that they were actually like signed to Sony at that time and got a video out and touring and doing all this stuff, right? So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You know, I'm 16, 17 at the time. And this was actually my first major break, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had done a bunch of stuff and was well known in the city for singing, you know, I mean, locally. But so he said, I wouldn't expect him to say that day. You know what I'm saying? He said, all right, so we about to come get you. And I'm like, nigga, like, okay, how long y'all gonna be before y'all get here? We on Lafayette in downtown. So, you know, from where we lived at, Lafayette to downtown, you got to be here in about 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying, with the lights. So I'm like, oh, man, I'm getting nervous. I'm like, wow. Dang. So they come pick me up and it's a lot to it, you know. At the time, they were getting a little bit of money, you know, per diem money and stuff like that, but they was really like living their regular lives still.
Yeah.
So they picked me up in a Ford Festiva. So if you know what a Ford Festiva look like, it's very small.
Yeah.
It's like the new version of an Escort. You know what I'm saying? It's hatchback. So we, you know, they picked me up.
Little Festiva.
Yeah, it was a little Festiva, man. A little four banger, a little 4-cylinder Festiva. And so they picked me up. You know, he introduced me to one of the Dion Lucas, who became, you know, we ended up being like brothers and really good friends almost immediately. He was the other light-skinned guy in the group. So he kind of like clicked up immediately.
Right.
So you know, but Squeak I knew before I knew any of them. But as soon as I met him, you know, I met him when he picked me up from the house and I got in, squeezed in the car, and we you know, down the road, went to my manager's office, which was a loft on Lafayette, right next to the strip club Bazooki, like, and Nikki's Pizza and all that stuff. Yeah. So it was their loft and their office was right on top of that. So I'm like, not knowing what to expect. I'm like, this is a weird, whole thing is just like kind of random, you know. we going to meet them. I'm expecting like something elaborate.
Yeah.
And little did I know the manager or managers, Roger Yop was a really, successful businessman at that time, educated brother, and kind of wealthy, kind of well-to-do. And his wife, Tanya Heidelberg Yop, was former executive lawyer for MTV.
Okay.
As well as graduated from Howard, and they were both.
She was well to do.
Yeah, they were both just real tied in, real good people, and they also had a lot of connects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at that time they were already signed to Sony, but I didn't know this.
So they were singers.
Yeah, Tanya and Rods weren't singers. They were just managing the group.
Oh, okay. So you're saying 7 Mile was already signed?
Yeah, they were already signed when they brought me to this to audition. So I came in and came up the little elevator shaft that was in the loft, and I came in. They introduced me, and this is Joe. He dope, super dumb. It's like heart pounding. Like, I hope I can live up to that. You know what I'm saying? And they said, I mean, they were straight to it. As soon as we came, as soon as I walked in, they said, all right, so
what you got?
Yeah, they were sitting just like you sitting right now, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, let me see.
They just said, just sing something.
Sing something. Let's just, we just want to hear you. Well, they didn't want to waste no time. So I said, I think I might have sung. I think I might have sung a Brian McKnight song. I think I might have sang One Last Cry. So I started, my shattered dreams and broken heart, I'm mending all the shelf. I saw you holding hands. And I got to the chorus. I said, wishing all my feelings was gone. I give my best to you. And they said, oh my God. Tanya said, oh my God.
Stop.
This is the new member.
Okay.
That's him.
Okay.
He's him.
And the member that was gone, where did he go?
So Glennis, that's the part I left out. Glennis, God rest his soul, he's deceased now. Okay. But Glennis got into a really bad car accident, and he was actually comatose for like, I think 7 days, something like that.
Yeah.
And when he came out of the coma, Glennis, I don't know if he was not in his right mind or what, but he called and said, I don't even want to be in the group no more. I'm going so low. And so they were trying feverishly to get him to come back, because he was really, that's hard. When a group changes members.
Yeah. It's a culture change.
Yeah, it usually don't never be the same. So they was really, the label was really trying to get him back. But, the group members was like, that nigga, you know what I'm saying? It was like a temptation situation. Like, ain't nobody here to see you, Otis. It was like because
he wasn't lead.
Well, he was.
He was
the main sound of the group. He on all of their songs. He most of the time drove mostly all of the songs on the album.
Okay.
So that was the shoes I came and had to fill immediately. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so they immediately started showing me all his parts and telling me what showing me what I had to do. He's going through dance steps. We a boy band, we a group.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, and I had never done that. Even with my other, we just sang. You know what I'm saying? So I immediately, man, just started having to, double dutch when I didn't even know how to jump rope yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it taught me so much, and it caused me to go to another level quickly.
Yeah.
It was like,
you
know what I'm saying? It was like jumping on a treadmill that's already on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to catch up and just
you ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no walking. You walk, you're going to end up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to quickly grab you and throw you somewhere. So I had to jump on, sprint. And it was the best thing that happened for me, man. Vocally, I went to a whole nother level that I didn't even know I could. I was just like, because our rehearsals was like this. I've never seen a rehearsal like this since then. We literally it was 4 of us. Each member would do something, anything that right up the top of their heads. They said, oh, everybody down the line had to do that exact same thing. They didn't do it twice. Just did it one time. Oh, the next person. Oh, and so on and so on. We just did whatever they came up with. You had to run that back like you was a tape recorder. And so what it did is it sharpened your vocals. You know, it was almost like sparring.
So even if you weren't, even if you were stronger in a alto or a
whatever, we was all, everybody in the group was a first tenor all the way down to a bass. Everybody.
See, that's that Detroit grind.
Yeah, we was on that. We was on that level.
Because you know, most groups you don't have to be strong in every.
Nah, you're gonna have one Cisco or one KC or. You know what I'm saying? Or Casey and JoJo. Yeah. But the rest of the group is just like, you know, a Devontae.
They just there.
I mean, with Devontae.
Now they good. Yeah. They can keep a melody.
Mad love for Devontae.
Yeah.
Incredible pianist and producer and songwriter and all that. But we all know he's not vocally as strong as Casey and JoJo.
Right.
Nor was Dalvin. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they was the pretty boys in the group, you know. So in all boy groups, there's that, you know what I'm saying, they have their strengths.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in 7 Mile, everybody was a lead singer, the whole group.
Okay.
Everybody had the skill to be a lead singer, you know, vocally.
Okay. Yeah, that just speaks to Detroit, man.
Yeah. That's what it was, man. And you know, so that was how that happened. And you know, I went on to, you know, do a few shows with them, and we did I think within a year that I was with them, a bunch of trouble started where Mariah Carey was going through divorce stuff with her husband, you know, Tommy Mottola. Yeah. And he was very vindictive. He's a lot like what they say he is. He's like a mafia boss. And he was like, okay, we ain't cool. I'm shutting down everything. I gave you the label. I'm taking the label away. So we were one of 2 groups that was signing the label. It was us and a girl group called Allure. They had a song with 112 at the time called All Cried Out.
Yeah, I remember Allure.
They was on the label with us. They dropped them, you know, immediately. And they kept us. They held on to us because we were, at that time, we had a lot of, Allure they had a lot of, I think, fans at that time too, but I guess they didn't see them as strong as us, or you know, or had that staying power. I guess I don't know what it was. I don't know what the verbiage was in that closed door meeting, but they decided to let them go off the label, you know, annulled their contract and just basically sent them back home. Wow. And at that time, we were just on the shelf. So
so y'all weren't touring or anything?
We wasn't touring no more. We was just doing like spot days, just shows, fulfilling like contractual agreements and stuff that people wanted to hire us and have us sing, you know.
Yeah.
And there was no more label backing, you know what I'm saying? Like all it, because we was getting, I mean, companies would just give us sneakers to wear for our performances for free.
So, you know, so studio time, y'all weren't going to the studio or nothing?
Nah, all that was cut out.
Did you create any original songs with them, or was it all?
Yeah. On the second album, I was a part of the writing process for the second album.
How many albums did y'all do total?
Just the one came out, but the second album was in the making when the band disbanded, and you know, we lost a deal with Sony.
Yeah.
So we were working on the second album. It was incredible. We had a song, or we had a few songs by a gospel singer and songwriter and producer, Jay Moss.
Yeah.
He had about 3 songs on there that he did, 3 or 4 songs he did for us. We had a few, you know, bigger people who contributed to it. And then some of the others, so we were a lot more creative on that album, where we were ourselves like writing the songs and, you know, arranging them and stuff like that.
Yeah. What's the name of that? Do you remember the name of the album that did come out?
That album, I think, was titled 7 Mile.
7 Mile.
Yeah,
okay.
It was I remember that. It was a debut, self-titled debut.
Now, does your music usually come from real life, or is it more theory?
It all depends. Some songs are theory. Some songs are just like songs that I do, based on maybe something that inspired me in life. Like I'm literally like this, like, bro, you might tell me a story of something you and your wife going through, right?
Yeah.
And I'll get inspired by that, and I go write a song about what you and your wife going through.
Okay.
So I wrote a song called Sunshine.
Yeah.
And that song was based off of, I was in the studio with a good friend of mine. He's a music director for Charlie Wilson right now. His name is Cordell Walton. And he and I were producing a song at that time. Actually, I was signed to his label at that time. And he's a producer. And we were working on a bunch of different music. And he had this new track that he was working on when I came into the studio. And I was like, it was so dope. It was like, it was actually not real guitar. It was him playing guitar on piano. Wow. But this dude is unreal. Like, he make the guitar on the piano sound just like a real guitar player. Yeah. And so when I walked in, he was playing this track, and I was like, dog, what is that? I was like, oh, that's crazy. What you doing with that? I was like, I'm a kid at this time still. Yeah. This was right after the 7 Mile situation. I'm like 18, 19, I think at that time. And he was like, it's open. I'm just playing around, just messing with it. I said, send that, let me get that. Yeah. And so he gave it to me. I took it home. But that day while we were at the studio, he had just went through a situation with his wife. I'm not going to go real into that. Yeah. But, I was really inspired by it. I said, wow. I mean, it was all while he was telling me the story of what's going on with him and his wife, a song was forming. And that track was playing the whole time. So you took the track that he was doing. Yeah. And you wrote a song about him and his situation. Wow. So what he was basically saying at that time, he was saying, because they had been together for a while, and he was saying, man, I love her, but I'm just tired. I ain't, and what I felt and what I heard from it was a little bit of pride. You know how men are, you know what I'm saying? We like, yeah, I know I might have been wrong, but nah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we like, you ain't gonna back me into the corner, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm human. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was kind of how he was coming off. And he had a chorus that he put down to it. Now, he's not really, he don't title himself as a singer. Yeah. But he was kind of doing the Smokey Robinson thing, like this is the direction I wanted to go in. But I've always thought he was dope. Yeah. I would hear his vocals that he put down, I'm like, dog, that's crazy. I was like, I'm keeping your vocals on it. He's like, nah, man, my vocals is whack. I'm like, nah, nigga, I like your vocals. I'm gonna put mine on top of it. And what the chorus said, he said, part of my heart, part of my mind, part of my soul want to be with my sunshine. But I chose to let go. I couldn't hold on. I wish I was stronger. So he gave me the track with that on it. It's part of my heart, part of my mind, part of my soul want to be with my sunshine. Well, I chose to let go. I couldn't hold on. I wish I was stronger. And that was all. Okay. So what I wrote to that, the verse, I said, if I could get just one chance to do it all again, I would change just one thing. I would never let it in. If I had put my pride aside that night, you'd still be here. Now every night I cry, just wishing I could hold you near. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I painted the whole story based on some of that stuff he didn't even say. Right. But I just, you know what I'm saying? I just imagine it almost like a movie director, like, the rest of the story, how it went down. So it was more of a slower track. Yeah, it's a ballad for sure. Ballad, okay. Yeah, it's, track is. So did that ever come out? That's going to be released though. That's a big song. That's a big record. So you said this was right after 7 Mile. Yeah, this is when I've been writing this song. I've been writing this song since 90. No, I'm sorry, not 90. I've been writing this song since like 2000, 2001. So 25 years. Yeah. So tell me, how can the song? Man, look. So some of the songs I write most, and people who, this is, people gonna see this, so they know I'm not lying. Most of the songs that I write or I create, I do them in probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, the whole song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't write down stuff. I just go to the mic and I just, play the track, and I just literally off of what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. I see the whole movie. I see the whole video. Yeah. And then you take out what shouldn't be there and leave what's good. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, you kind of punching. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And as I'm going, I gotta start me over again. Yeah. Or sometimes scratch that. No, I know what I want to say. Yeah. And so that's how I create it. And you create that, do that in 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Usually. But sometimes, it don't come to me like that. And I'm the type of creative that I'm not just gonna do something just to do it, just to put it out. Like, all right, that's done. Because some songs need a whole lot more. Some song like that song, Sunshine. That's a song, man. Everybody that's heard it, what I've released and showed is like they go crazy. Like, what is this? Like, where can I find that at?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not released.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I know people get on you about that.
Oh, yeah. My mom especially. My mom was the reason why I released my first single, Feel This Way, and I wasn't ready to release it because she came to me and she just told me, my mom is real spiritual. And she said, the Holy Spirit told her, you need to put that song out immediately. Don't try to make it perfect. Don't wait until you got the money to put an orchestra on it like you was talking about. That song, just how it is gonna bless your life. And you need to put that out immediately. And I was obedient to that. I was like, wow, hey, it ain't ready. Me and Cordell Walton, who I mentioned before, who I did the song Sunshine with, he had just put the piano down and I laid the guitar on it. We were planning on putting a whole lot more music into it. We just actually did that just for the scratch track.
Yeah.
Just for me to lay the vocals down to in the studio. But I released that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That rough track is what I released. That's been out since 2009. So, and it did exactly what she said. I was called and hired to sing at, I can't even count on both hands and both feet how many weddings I got called to sing that particular song.
And what's the name of it?
Called Feel This Way.
Feel This Way.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What's been one of the most hardest moments that you've had in your music journey? Because you talk about murder and violence, that's definitely been hard. But as far as the music and music business, what's been the hardest?
Just determining, being in situations where, in some cases where I thought were real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like somebody call you along and say, man, you dope, you really talented. And, you exchange information with them and you get involved with them. And then come to find out they're not who they say they are, or, they claim themselves to be the man, but they really like the gopher to the man, or they, what I'm saying? And they really just trying to put on. And then you find out, man, I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm thinking I was really with the guy.
There.
Yeah, I was really there.
Yeah.
I really, made it. But, that I think in Detroit coming up at an earlier age, around the time with Jay Devenir and even Mike, that was, that was what I went through a lot. A story that I can really tell. But see, you know what, man, God was there the whole time, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell you how real it is. So I was on a flight back to Detroit from Cali, living with my pops, me and my brothers. My mom came and got us. And on this flight, these chicks was sitting behind us and they kept kicking my seat. Back then I was a lot different than I am right now. Yeah. I was more of a rough,
yeah.
Or I could get like that a lot easier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm turning around, I'm like, hey, excuse me, you kicking my seat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a warning. You know what I'm saying? You kicking my seat. All right, now you know you kicking my seat. You ain't gonna do it no more. Girl said, oh, I'm sorry about that. So they kept doing it. And I'm like, bro, hey, can you please stop kicking my seat? Now it's then escalated a little bit. Now I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And they giggling. They like, they find it funny. So I just, these are girls. If it would have been guys, it'd have been a whole different story.
Yeah.